Sales can be one of the most fun and profitable professions to be a part of. And you know what? Sometimes sales gets a bad reputation. When you think of a salesperson, especially like a used car salesperson, you think of someone who's sleazy. You think of someone who's a fast talker. You think of someone who might be just out for their own interest. But the thing is, sales can be so rewarding because you can truly uncover what somebody needs. You can truly uncover and help to solve people's problems so that they can live a better life. But in order to do that, you'll need fine and honed and practiced skills. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some skills that you can improve in and grow in order to be more successful in sales. So let's get right to it. One of the most important skills if you want to be successful in sales is discovering what the person really wants in that scenario. And you might be saying, well, Brandon, if you're selling them something, then shouldn't they already have a good idea of what they want? Well, that's what you would think. But what you'll find, whether you're having a conversation with somebody, or whether you're actually selling a physical product or you're selling a service, is that a lot of people don't really know what it is they want. I've worked in retail sales for almost 10 years now, and we sell cell phones. And you would not believe how many people come in and they think they have an idea of what they want, but what they end up leaving with is something completely different than what they want. Because the reality is, people are looking to solve a problem. It could be a tangible problem. It could be solving an emotional problem so that they leave the store or they leave the interaction feeling a different way. But what somebody tells you they want can be very, very different from the reality of what they're actually looking for. And something that I'll actually do as a salesperson, as a friend, as a colleague, whoever it is I'm talking with, is often I'll ask people the question, what exactly are you looking to accomplish right now? And when you ask somebody, what are you looking to accomplish, it puts them in the frame of mind to look ahead, and it causes them to see exactly how they would like this interaction to end. It causes them to see the ideal outcome that they want, which then helps them to gain clarity, and their clarity helps you to sell them or get them into a product or service that makes the most sense for them. So remember, clarity is power. The more you can help somebody determine what it is that they really want, the more powerful and more effective you will be as a salesperson. Now, something else you can do in order to help the customer determine what it is they really want, and I say customer, but you can use this in any conversation or interaction that you have with another person, because everything is a sale. And if you can master these skills during normal conversations, then it's only going to help you when you're actually in a true sales situation. One thing I like to do is I like to ask very specific questions. I like to ask open-ended questions. And your ability to help someone determine what is best for them will come down to your ability to ask great questions. We've talked in a previous video about how the best salespeople aren't the ones who are talking the most. The best and most effective salespeople, the ones who earn the most income and the ones who have the most people come back to them time and time again, listen 80% and they talk 20%. And the 20% that they are talking, they are asking amazing questions. They're asking who, what, where, when, and sometimes they're asking why. Open-ended questions are important because it gets the person to open up. It gets them to give you more information. As an example, if you ask somebody, well, do you like your current car? Their answer is going to be, well, yes, I do. And then you have to follow up and ask them another question. But what if instead you ask them, hey, what is it that you like about this car? Rather than look at you and say yes or no, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, well, you know, I really like the red color. I love the beige interior. And one thing I really like about this car, Brandon, is when I hit the gas, it goes. Open-ended questions help you to discover more information than simple yes or no questions, and it will help you to help your customer determine what is truly the best solution for them. So now you've been asking a ton of great questions. You know exactly what the person across from you wants. You know exactly how to serve them. You've uncovered enough what I like to call nuggets of information that you can now package into a solution and secure the deal with your customer. And you're making the presentation. You're telling this person how your product or your service or your idea is going to benefit their life. You're painting the most beautiful picture possible. And the whole time they're looking at you, they're smiling, they're nodding their head, they're in agreement. And then all of a sudden you say to them, well, how does that sound? And they look at you and they say, Brandon, thanks so much for all the information, but I'm good. I don't need this right now in my life. And inside you crumble. You just get that pit feeling in your stomach of, I just spent all this time and they're not going to do business with me. This is ridiculous. And immediately your whole emotional state changes to the point where this person doesn't even want to work with you anymore because you can't handle being rejected. And that's number 2. The second tip to being the most successful salesperson that you can possibly be is you need to know how to take rejection. Because the reality is, the best salespeople in the world are the ones who can handle rejection the most. The best salespeople are the ones who are rejected the most. Because the reality is, people are going to tell you no a lot more often than they're going to tell you yes. And you know that in sales, when you're influencing anybody, it's a numbers game. The more people you can get in front of, the more times you can offer your product or your service, the more times you're going to hear yes, but also the more people you get in front of, the more times you're going to hear no. It's just the way that it works. And your ability to handle this rejection will truly determine how great of a salesperson you are. There's a story I heard a long time ago about this suit salesperson, and it exemplifies this whole principle of taking rejection. This suit salesperson sold so many suits this one day. He made thousands of dollars for the business and revenue. He was feeling amazing, and at the same time, the general manager of all the suit stores was in the store that day. And this salesperson was like, this is awesome. This is the perfect opportunity to impress my boss. This is the perfect opportunity to show the general manager what it is I can do. And the salesperson kept selling and selling and selling. And after every sale, he looked over to the general manager to see if he noticed. And it got to the point where the general manager didn't approach this salesperson one time. And the salesperson's thinking, I just had the biggest day in sales I've ever had. The biggest day in sales than any salesperson has ever had in this location. So why isn't my general manager coming over and congratulating me and thanking me for my service? So the salesperson walks up to the general manager and he says, hey, so did you see all the sales that I made today? And the general manager said, yeah, I saw. And the salesperson said, well, what did you think of them? Did you think that I did a great job? Did you see all the happy people who left? Did you see the amount of suits I sold? And the general manager said, well, yes. And the salesperson said, well, then why didn't you say anything to me? How come you're not congratulating me? And the general manager said something that changed his life forever. He looked at the salesperson and he said, you haven't sold anything today. And the salesperson looked at him and baffled. He says, what do you mean I didn't sell anything? I just had the biggest day in sales that we've ever had as a store. And the general manager looked at him and said, you didn't sell anything, because how many times did people tell you no today? And the salesperson thought about it, and he realized that he hadn't been told no once that day. And the reality is, if people aren't telling you no, then you're not selling them anything. All you're doing is giving them what they asked for. And when you give somebody something they asked for, all you are is simply an order taker. It's only when you can uncover problems and uncover specific needs that a person has and then solve those needs and provide a solution, only then are you a true salesperson. And as a result, you're going to be told no over and over and over. But you know what? You're going to be told no more often. But you're going to hear a hell of a lot more yeses. And more importantly, you're going to have a lot more happy people. You're going to have a lot more happy customers who come back to you over and over and over again because you solved their problems that they didn't even know they had. So if you want to be successful in sales, you have to learn what rejection really means. Rejection is great because that means that you are going above and beyond trying to find and solve problems that people didn't even know they had. So every time you hear no, you're just one step closer to hearing a yes. On this YouTube channel, we talk about a lot of sales strategies. We talk about how to be more influential, and we talk about how to live a better and more extraordinary life in general. So if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel here and hit the bell so that you see and are notified of every new video we release Monday through Friday. And if you're finding this video and these tips helpful so far, hit that like button, because that is like the #1 way that you can support this channel so that we can continue to grow. Sales is a relationship business. It's not a transactional business. It's not you being a cashier at the grocery store, somebody brings you their celery and you scan it and you ring them out and they're gone, right? You don't generally call back the person who bought celery the next day and ask them how the celery tastes. If you did, you might sell some more celery. But the fact of the matter is, it's not a relationship business. But sales is. Let me ask you this. In a relationship, are you speaking with that person every single day? Yeah, sometimes. If you're in a very close, intimate relationship, usually it's an everyday transaction of communication. If you have a friend, you might talk to that friend maybe once a week, twice a week. You might have friends that you talk to once every 3-4 months, and that's perfectly fine. The point is, you're continuing to build and strengthen the relationships that you're forming at the initial encounter. And the third tip to being the most successful salesperson that you could possibly be is the one that most people leave off the table entirely, which is follow up. Following up with your customers, building and strengthening that existing relationship. And this doesn't have to be difficult, right? They say that the fortune is in the follow-up. Because if you truly are focused on building this relationship with somebody, the 10 sales that you make that month, the initial 10 sales, could turn into 200 sales over the course of 2 years. You know, every customer has a lifetime value to them. And a lot of businesses call this LFV, lifetime value. In the industry I used to work in, every customer, while you only might make $100 per sale, every customer had a lifetime value of over $3,000. And I'm not saying this just to put a number on people. I'm saying this to make the point, it's not just about the initial encounter. It's about strengthening and watering that seed and watering that relationship so that it turns into many additional sales as well. That one sale you make could come back to you in a month and buy the same thing for a significant other or buy the same thing for a family member. Or, even more powerful, if you truly take care of somebody and understand that the fortune is truly in the follow-up when it comes to sales, then that person will tell all of their family and friends about you. I just had a customer the other day who I helped them. They bought a lot of things, right? Just because they bought a lot of stuff doesn't mean that they're not happy. I found that the people who buy the most things are the happiest people. They returned an hour later and they brought me a tie-dye shirt and a tie-dye mask because they owned a tie-dye business. And they texted me when they got home and they said, Brandon, I already told all my friends about you. You're having my friend Susie come in on this day. My friend Tracy's going to come see you on this day. The best relationships and the strongest and the most strengthened relationships, might be the best thing to say, will send all of their family and friends to you. If you make an amazing first impression, and if you give them an incredible experience that first time, and you follow up with them to strengthen that relationship, that one customer can turn into 10 customers or more. It's all about the follow-up and strengthening the existing relationships that you have. Do not forget this very, very important piece of sales, because if you do, you'll be leaving a lot of money on the table and you're going to be working a lot harder than you have to. You see, the longer you work in sales, the easier it should become, because you'll not have to find so many new customers. Eventually, you're having a lot of the same people come back to you, as well as all of the friends and family and colleagues that they're referring to you. So just remember, the fortune is in the follow-up. If you found these tips helpful, then I want you to watch this video next, which will go deeper into each of these principles to help you to become an incredible salesperson. And until we talk again next time, continue to be better.